Welcome to Talk Deep, a podcast that is all about having real conversations with real people, discussing the topics most people aren't willing to talk about. Join your host, Pastor Jordan, and his guests, including musicians, influencers, and artists. Whether it is religion, relationships, addiction, or abuse, get ready to talk about those taboo topics that people like to hide under the rug. Let's get started. Here is your host, Pastor Jordan.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Talk Deep, a podcast that's all about having real conversations with real people where we talk about the taboo topics that most people like to hide under the rug. Today, I'm here with my little sister, Tori. Tori, tell them your age, a little bit about yourself. Take like 10 seconds.
Okay, I'm 19. My name is Tori, and yeah.
Yeah, all right.
That was about 10 seconds. I mean.
So, the question everybody wants to know, what's the worst part about having me as a brother?
The worst part?
Yeah.
That you constantly bully me.
Okay. How?
You're like no one could ever bully me as bad as you've bullied me.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? Like, someone could say something to me, and like, it's like, no, Jordan's already done that. Jordan's already said that.
All right, makes sense. So what's the best part about having me as your brother?
Kind of the same. Like, not the bully part, but like, you're not just a brother, you're like my best friend. You're honest with me, you're very, we're friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Brother by chance, but best friend by choice.
That's like an Instagram quote that I can see on like, with like the picture in the background. And then, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. You know where I stole that from?
From Liv and Maddie?
Yeah. Disney Channel show.
All right. So a little bit about you. You've been kind of like on a fitness journey and you've come a long way. So tell me a little bit about where you're at right now. So like, you can share what you want to share, but I'm thinking like weight differences, fitness level differences, confidence difference, life choices and lifestyle differences. Just tell me a little bit about where you are at and where you are now. The logistics. Okay. Don't tell me, all the deep stuff.
So when I first started, I started in my senior year, the beginning of my senior year. I just wanted to get like fit because I was like, dang, like I need to fix my life. Because I was like a little, overweight, a little chunky, on the chunkier side. I weighed almost 215. I think that was the heaviest I weighed. And now I weigh 165, 155. It fluctuates. But the lowest I was at was 150, but I didn't like how I looked because I was just like skinny.
Yeah, I want to say that like 150 for a girl sounds heavier, but if you've ever seen Tori's really tall, and
I'm
150 for you is super skinny already, like thin. But just because of your height and like the way that you are, 150 looks way smaller on you.
Well, a lot of my body now. Well, that's when I weighed 150. I wasn't very muscular. I did a lot of cardio. That's how I lost most of the weight, was being in a calorie deficit, and then pretty much just like doing cardio, and then like just like free body, like just squats and push-ups and sit-ups and stuff like that. It wasn't anything like crazy.
And now you do have like a lot more tone and
now, and then I start. So when I hit 150, I saw how my body was, and I was like, yeah, like it looks good, like I'm skinny now, but I didn't like how like I was kind of flabby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I had a lot of extra skin, and then I started doing weights, and I started taking like a bunch of protein and actually eating more than just like being in a calorie deficit, and stopped counting my calories and stuff. And then I gained weight, but now I look better than I was before, and I'm smaller in my clothes. Yeah, I'm like smaller in my clothes, and I fit better. Like now, I went from being a size 14 in my jeans, and now I'm a size 6.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. And when I weighed 150, I was a size 8. So I dropped a size from there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so definitely you've just kind of, like you said, you were looking at yourself and you were skinny, but you were feeling kind of flabby. And you started...
I wasn't confident. at all.
Yeah. And you started training to be like, you know, to be
An
healthier,
athlete.
to look healthier.
Yeah.
And it kind of paid off. So you've gotten heavier, but your sizes have gone down and you look better and you feel better. That's cool. So tell me, what were the kind of things you were eating when you were unhealthy versus now? What are you eating?
Oh my gosh. I literally, like, all the time, my parents would just, like, buy me, like, all the time I would, like, beg them to buy me fast food. Like, that's what would make me happy. Like, just food would make me happy. Like, I could eat tubs of ice cream and just, like, loathe in all my feelings. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would just, like, eat whatever I wanted because I'm like, this is what makes me feel good. And now I eat very, like, well, I never eat until I'm full. Like, I'm never full anymore, except on my cheat, because I do have cheat days. And on my cheat days, I do eat until I'm, like, full, but not where I'm like, bleh! You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But before, I would eat, like, I would literally gorge myself. And now I try to stay away from fast foods. I don't drink soda anymore. I only drink water or tea, or if I'm gonna, like, splurge, I drink lemonade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or sweet tea. Like, it's nothing crazy. And then, like, my foods, I try to stay on the lean side, like, with chicken and, like, no fatty meats. Like, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Vegetable, just, like, it's very my.
So what are fatty meats versus, like, chicken and stuff?
I try to stay away from, like, if I'm gonna go to a restaurant, I'm not gonna order a burger full of grease and stuff like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna order, like, a grilled chicken, or sometimes even some steaks I have to stay away from because they have a ton of butter on it, or it just depends on where you go.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a place with no, like, I can't, like, exactly look what's on there, then I'm like, I kind of get stressed out. Cause I'm like,
oh, yeah. Because you don't know exactly what you're putting into your body.
Because now even down to my I've changed my whole, like, down to my shampoo. It's all very, like, organic and stuff.
Yeah. The reason I asked is because I feel like not everybody understands the difference between, like, lean meats or fatty meats. But even, like, you just saying, like, some have, like, really greasy stuff, or some are just cooked in a lot of butter. Like, that makes a big difference in how, not even just, like, what it does to your body, but how it makes you feel.
Well, like, yeah, you can go to, like, okay, so you can, at home, you know what you're cooking it with, and you know what you're doing. But if you go to Whataburger, you can cook the same thing at home, but healthier and, like, more beneficial to your body. Like, it will keep you going throughout the day.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you ever look at the calories at, like, McDonald's or even Whataburger, like, it's, like, in like, that's what you're supposed to have in one day, like, just eating one meal.
Yeah.
There. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, one meal there is, like, a day's calories.
Worth of eating, yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
And it only keeps you sustained for, like, what, 3 hours, maybe 4?
Well, yeah, I feel like it's so much sugar in a lot of that stuff and, like, carbs that you feel, like, energetic for a little bit, and then you just kind of crash.
Yeah. No, it's true. You, like, half of that stuff makes you so, like, sluggish and like, wanting to just sleep.
I do. I feel like that after I eat, like, a lot of fast food. I just kind of want to pass out.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So what started all this, right? What kicked off your healthy journey? And what's the point that you really, like, you looked at yourself and you're like, all right, I'm really going to take this seriously?
Okay, so I was working at Bonita, which is a church camp. But I met this girl named Sarah Bryan. Shout out to Sarah Bryan. But I met her, and she was going to college to be a personal trainer. And she started, like, telling me about all this stuff and just, like, explaining to me, like, what you could do. And she just kind of, like, I never actually worked out with her. I never did it when I was with her, but, like, her words just stuck with me a lot. And she just kept saying, like, just do it. Just get up and do it. Like, if you mess up, it's okay. Just do it. Like, just keep going. It doesn't just, like, you know, just, like, as soon as, like, you lose the weight, you will feel better. Because I told her all the time, like, I was like, oh, I just feel so bad about myself. I have to sit down and cover myself with a pillow. Or, like, I don't like how I look. The
fupa was getting in the way, or what?
Yeah, like, I just didn't, like, I wasn't confident, and, like, I wasn't, like, I don't know how to explain it. I was just very, like, I didn't like how I felt. Like, just everything. I had so much acne. It was just awful. I felt so ugly, is how I would explain it.
Okay.
So I came back to El Paso, and my mom was on this, like, fitness trip too. You know, Mom, she's always on, like, a fitness trip. And so she was like, every day, she was like, let's go to the gym, and then we're going to do this, and then we're going to eat right today. And so I was like, okay, well, might as well just try it because she's doing it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really going into it like, I mean, I want to do this. I'm going to just try to do it. Well, then I remember, like, on, like, the first few weeks, like, telling her, let's just cheat. Like, please get me fast food. Like, I hate this. And I wasn't, like, seeing results right away. You know what I mean? Because you don't. If you do it correctly. Like, not correctly, because you can lose weight really fast, but, like, healthy.
Yeah. It wasn't really, way. Like, because Mom wasn't really focusing on, like, losing a ton of weight really fast. She was just focusing on, like, implementing healthier habits. And so you wouldn't immediately, like, notice everything.
Exactly. It wasn't a, like, I'm on a diet and then I'm going to stop when I lose the weight. It was more of a lifestyle change. And I didn't actually see it until now.
Yeah.
But so I started, like, losing the weight slowly. I remember the beginning of my senior year, because when I finally started seeing, I was at a size 14 and I dropped to a size 12. And I was like, dang, like, this is great. Like, I feel so much skinnier. And I wasn't really even that skinny, but I was like, I felt good. Yeah. So I just started going at it, and I kept going and I kept going and I kept going. And I remember at Christmas time, my mom was like, just cheat. And I was like, no, I'm going to keep doing it. And this was like, it was Christmas of 2019 when I started, like, really, like, dang, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Because I actually started seeing it. Because I was still at a size 12 by that time. So I had gone half of my senior year at that size 12. And I hadn't lost any more little weight. But I had been eating right. And I had been, what's it called? Just, like, working out.
Yeah. I feel like that's all it takes sometimes is, like, a little bit of results. Like, sometimes people get into it and they're not sure if it's really going to be for them or if they're really, like, super serious, and then they get a little bit of results and, like, the feeling is so good. Like, you feel so much more confident, and, like, you can literally change, like, the tiniest bit, but inside you change a lot. And so then and you're able to, like, keep going.
I was so confident. I was literally, I'd probably say, like, when I first started losing weight, I was probably more confident then than sometimes I am now. Sometimes, because I am pretty confident now, but sometimes it fluctuates. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit more about, like, the mental state before fitness, right? Let's talk about why people, like, want to get fit or want to lose weight, or, like, the kind of headspace you're in when you're not fit. For those of you that don't know, I'm kind of, like, I'm really overweight now, but I used to have, like, a six-pack. I used to be in super good shape. Sure. So if I got fit now, it would be like that show From Fit to Fat to Fit. I'm like fat. I'm like fat to fit to fat, hoping to get back to fit. But
oh my god,
I get it. Like, let's talk about, you know, why do people care so much about losing weight, and why is it such, like, an issue?
Well, I think, like, myself, it was more for, like, when I first started, it was just to, like, first, like, just make myself, like, look better. I didn't really do it because I was like, I want to feel better. Now I do it because I'm like, I know this is what my body likes, and I'm confident when I do this, and I'm happy with this. I like this lifestyle. It makes me happy. But before, it was more because, like, honestly, while I was, like, in high school, you know what I mean? It was more for, like, oh, I'm gonna do it because, like, I want to look good, and I want to be, like, there with the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you do it just because, I guess, like, you feel like you have to look better to, I don't know, like, you watch a high school movie or any high school movie with, like, a high school setting, and, like, everybody wants to be popular, and everybody wants to look good, and everybody wants to, like, have that, like,
have the best of the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of how I started. And because before, I would get attention. Everybody does, you know what I mean? But when I got skinny, oh my gosh. Like, it kind of, even going from size 14 to a size 12.
So, yeah, I remember when I got, like, skinny, because I didn't really get skinny at first.
Yeah.
I just got really, really like lean. Like I had some abs, and then I was huge. I was like really, really jacked.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I remember everybody would stare. We would go to like the mall, and like the boys would stare just as much as the girls, because like I had big muscles. And then I remember like older women would stare, and I had teachers that would like hit on me in secret. I'm not gonna go into too much of that because I feel like literally people could get in trouble. But
yeah, probably.
Honestly, like it was crazy the way that like I guess people are conditioned to look at beautiful people as far as like what the world defines them as beautiful. And so I remember like what it was like to get checked out all the time. And nobody does it to me now. Like I'm a big dude. But at the same time, like I'm happy, you know. I'm not happy with my health. I'm not happy with my size, but inside I'm happy, and that's something that I never had before when I was fat, and then even when I got fit. But you started off just trying to look good, trying to fit into the standards, and then now you're doing it because you actually enjoy what it does for you.
Yeah. It gets my, like, literally when I'm stressed out, I'm like, I need to go work out. And then I work out and I feel 10 times better.
Yeah.
But when I first started, it was so hard for me because, like, to keep going sometimes, because my main goal was to look better for people.
Right.
Like, I was like, oh, I want to be that. I want to do that. I want to be able to wear that. You know what I mean?
So do you feel like that's, like, a healthy way to start off?
No,
I feel like that's how most people start off.
Well, you know what? It gave me the drive to actually go all the way. Because when I really started to see results, when I started just dropping in weight and size, I was working. I had met Dylan, which is now my fiance, soon to be husband, very soon. We because he's very small, he's very skinny and very fit and very very athletically inclined.
I wanted to ask you about that. We're going to talk about that at some point.
Okay. Well, just know that Dylan, he's very fit.
Yeah.
And so when I met him, I was just like, dang, like, I'm still kind of big. I was still in a size 12. And so I just started, like, going ham.
Do you feel like you catfished him?
No, because he knew what I looked like.
But maybe he just saw your face.
So. Right? He's like, oh no, that's not possible.
I'm just kidding.
But I just started like going at it.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of drove me to like get that small, because I was like, oh, he's not gonna want to be with me. But that's not true, because he was with me before then.
That happened to me too. I got into a relationship and then I got super skinny and I got like hardcore bubble abs, but I also felt terrible inside.
Yeah, that's what that was me. Like literally for the first like few months, and I was like so insecure, and I would like tell someone like, oh, you're cheating on me with skinnier girls and blah blah blah. And that wasn't true. None of it was true. It was in my head because I was so insecure about myself.
Yeah, definitely.
I was so insecure about being heavier. You know what I mean?
You're so insecure. You get so insecure to the point that you find it hard to believe that they wouldn't be looking somewhere else.
Exactly.
Know? Yeah, I get that. I definitely get that. And
so actually, yeah.
So what do you think about people who literally they go to the gym trying to look like other people, or like trying to look like good people on Instagram? I feel like sometimes that can make them stop going because it doesn't happen as fast as they want.
Yeah, I would say so, because it worked for me, but it's not how it should be.
But I
feel you should do it because you.
Let's say that switch never happened in your brain, right? Because I feel like if Dylan left you today, you would continue to be on your healthy journey.
Oh, I would.
Okay.
Well, honestly, because the kind of person I am, if he would have actually left me for that, I would have got 10 times. I probably would have done it faster.
Yeah.
Just to get back at him.
Well, that happened to me too, but I feel like you get to a certain point where you think you have it, and then because you have it, you don't really stick with it, right? Like you're talking about the difference between a diet and a lifestyle.
You get
I
to
feel
the
like a
point.
bunch of people, they just do it until they're happy with what they look like, or they think that they're happy,
Exactly.
and then they stop. Or they do it until they realize that it's not going to be as easy as they thought, and then they stop.
I feel like you get to the point, at least for me, I came to a point where I liked where I looked,
Yeah.
and I can stop now and just like backtrack or just watch what I eat and work out here and there, and I'd probably still be good. Or I could keep going with this lifestyle and feel confident and feel like, you know what, I can eat this and still be fine, and I can do this, and I like how I feel. I like how this food makes me feel throughout the day. I feel energized, because it's true. When I have a cheat day and I eat just crap food, I feel horrible. I get sick. You can even ask Jordan, you saw my stomach when I just eat like really bad food. I look like I'm pregnant now.
Yeah.
And that's because my body literally hates that food.
Yeah.
My body rejects it so much that it makes me sick for almost days.
Yeah, definitely. So what is it like now that you're fit? You know, you look around and you see all of these girls on Instagram with like bikinis on, or you see like all of these influencers who look amazing. You know, before you would probably look at them and feel like, dang, I want to be like that. But now, like, you look on par, you know, you can compete physically. So where are you at in your head now as far as all that?
Well, I still sometimes feel the same. I struggle with it just because I used to be fat.
Yeah.
Well, not fat, but heavier. I still struggle. I still see myself sometimes, not all the time, because it's not true. I do not feel that way all the time. Sometimes I do see myself and I think, dang, like I look fit right now. But there is some times where, of course, I get insecure, I get bloated, I get, you know what I mean? I'm a person.
Yeah.
I see pictures of people, or I see girls on TikTok, and I think, dang, like I wish I looked like that. Because I still sometimes, something in my head tells me, you still look bad. You still look like that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like that so long that sometimes I have to literally trick myself and make myself like get smaller sizes in clothes, because I'm like, no, I'm not that big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes, like, literally forever, I was getting size large to extra large and stuff, and it wouldn't fit. It would look like I had a diaper on, or it would look like my shirt was so oversized that it would look like a dress on. And I would do it because I thought I was still that big, and I wasn't. I had to force myself to get size medium, size small, size extra small sometimes even.
And I feel like
it's hard.
I feel like that's hitting it like so true, because I feel like on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, you only show the perfect parts of yourself. And so, you know, those girls get bloated too. They have, you know, they have cramps, they have bloating days, they have bad days where, you know, they have acne or anything else. And what I think is interesting is that I feel like people don't realize that that's actually a thing. Like, they literally look at those girls or they look at those situations and they think, wow, I'm never going to be like that. But like half of everything going on is so filtered, and half of everything going on is literally like plastic surgery and all kinds of other stuff.
On TikTok and stuff, that like girls will show you like a picture of them posed, and they like, you can see their abs, you can see their butt looks really big, and like just everything looks really good. And then they unflex and they like just stand normal. Yeah. And they have like a normal lady like shape and
I like that that's a trend. I like that, you know, girls are, because I love that about social media too, is that we've kind of taken the light away from TV and media and everything else, because we're in charge at that point. Like, we're in charge of what we see. We're in charge of what we show others. And so for girls to do that and say, hey, like, I might have abs in this pose, but if I sit down and hunch over, I still have like belly fat. And that's impossible to get away from. I had literally like no body fat, and I had like really, really good abs. And if I sat forward, it still looked like that. And I would get so insecure. But it's because nobody ever talks about that stuff, right?
Well, exactly. I still like, I see myself, and like, there's no way my body's getting smaller than what I am right now.
Yeah.
Like, my body type is not meant to be that small. If I did, I would look sick.
Yeah.
And so, I have to constantly remind myself, if I get smaller, I will start to become sickly. Like, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah.
Because I can't be smaller than this.
No.
Like, it's not going to look good.
No,
anymore.
I think
I'm not going to be fit.
Yeah, what you have to do if you want to look different at that point is not to keep losing weight, because you'll just be losing body mass that you need in order to look normal, right? If not, you're gonna look like you've just binged on drugs for like 3 months.
No, for reals though.
Yeah, what you do instead is you continue to like train, and you continue to replace the fatty parts in your body or the fatty tissues with muscle and muscle mass and muscles. But you build all that up, and then you continue to look healthier, like you've already been doing. You know, exactly. So you stay on your grind, you stay on your goal oriented, outlook, and you continue to change your body. But it's slow. It happens slowly. I feel like that is the hardest part too. Building muscle and building an athletic physique takes way, way longer than just losing fat. Body fat, exactly. Losing body fat is the easiest part. Building a solid base of muscle and physique and, everything that you want underneath takes so much longer.
Well, it's reshaping your whole body. Like the whole last year from the end of 2019 to the end of 2020, I was just losing fat.
Yeah.
And so pretty much all of 2021 to probably 2022, I'm going to be rebuilding my body to look exactly how I want it to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And I'm pretty much almost there. The last part is I really just need to have abs that can be shown more.
So it takes time, definitely. So moving on to that then, what are, tell me like about your goals. What are you wanting to do? And obviously like you can look good, but if you're doing it for a healthy lifestyle, what else is there? What do you want to do with a good looking body? Or what do you want to do with, as far as like goals in the gym? Because I always had goals. Like I would have certain lifts that I wanted to get, or I would have certain things that I wanted to be able to do, or certain I was always goal oriented in the way that I worked out and the way that I trained. And sometimes it was just for competitions, but
yeah. Currently, what I'm trying to do is really build my back and my arms, because I want to have a bigger back. For some reason, I saw this girl on TikTok and I was like, dang, her back looks big. But I started doing it because I wanted to start doing like pull-ups. I want to be able to do at least 5. I can't even do 1 yet, because my arms are, I had to build all the arm muscle that I have now. It's such a little amount, but like I'm so proud of it because I've never had arm muscle ever, or back muscle, and I finally have some. And so I'm trying to really build that so I can be able to do that. So that means I have to lift my body. I'm only lifting like on my arm, my biceps, and my triceps. The most I've gotten to is 75 pounds.
Yeah.
And
did you say on your triceps?
My triceps and my biceps.
Are you trying to do a handstand?
That too. Well, I've always wanted to do flips and stuff too.
Okay, yeah. Bodyweight exercises are the hardest, I think. Unless you're unless you're super, super skinny and you've always been that way. I feel like bodyweight is the ultimate goal for somebody who was like bigger and then got fit, because that's the thing that you can't do at the beginning, and you can't do even like once you get all the fat off, because you don't have the muscle mass. And so that's always literally like the biggest goal. I remember when I was able to do pull-ups, I was so excited, and because I was one of the only like linemen on the football team that could do pull-ups, and I was so proud of it because like we're all bigger guys, and I could do those things that like, when you think of somebody who's in shape and who is really fit, you think push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, running fast. You don't think of somebody who can like bench press a bunch of weight, or somebody who can squat a bunch of weight, because people do that.
Exactly.
But the top people in the world still have tons of body fat on them, or a lot of times they do, because that helps with moving bigger weights. But so you want to be able to do more body weight movements. You want to be able to do pull-ups and do flips.
So right now I'm trying to train more of like my arms and just like trying things out. Like I just, like you saw, I can't do even a cartwheel right now. And so that's going to just take more strength and more trying. But I feel like I have to get to a certain spot where I'm like, all right, let's start really training for this and actually like researching it and seeing what I have to build on.
So what is that spot?
I don't know. I just like when I'm ready. I feel like there's a part when you're ready. Because there was a part when I was ready, when I was like, all right, now it's time to weight train.
All right. Fair enough.
I feel like I just kind of like, all right, I'm ready to do this. Like kind of when I'm getting bored of weight training so much, I'll kind of move on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Are you going to do any influencing with your new fit body?
Everybody keeps telling me I should. They always tell me like make TikTok videos and stuff like that. And like I literally had people from my high school reach out to me that I barely even talked to and tell me like, I've seen your weight loss. I've seen you in person. You look good. Like, can you give me tips? And I do. And I'm like, dang, I should just go on TikTok or just go on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
And just start doing this. But I'm just like scared because I still get very insecure. I'm like, oh, people that know me are gonna be like, dang, like she was fat, but like they knew me when I was fat.
I don't think it's just the people that know you.
I get like that.
Because when I was a smaller YouTube channel, it was the people that I knew that were being haters. And then once I got big, the people that I knew didn't even matter. It was all the other haters. And you get a bunch of haters, but at the same time, like the amount of like love and support and the amount of growth that you get from doing it can be really like it can just be so fun. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you want to be an influencer, you have to be like prepared for that to happen, because it does. And I don't think anybody ever is like, you know how they say kids give like the worst insults because they seem to always know what you're insecure about? YouTube is like that, and like Instagram and TikTok. Like people just, I don't know how they do it, but they just always seem to know what's going to be the worst thing for you to hear. And that's exactly what they put. And it's so like aggravating. But at the same time, like the internet has become such a beautiful community for me as far as like connecting with people and talking to people. I've met hundreds of people that I think are just so cool and like that I relate to. But also like,
because it brings you to people that you would have never even met or even like talked to unless social media happened.
Yeah. So what do you think about those girls who are like still not happy with their bodies and they're talking to you and they're like, hey, give me some tips? How does that make you feel?
Well, because I still like, I can't believe that they're asking me this. I'm like, wow, like you're asking me why. And I'm like, all right, let me tell you what I did. And I still like, I kind of like, I don't give myself credit, if that makes sense. I'm like, I did this, blah, 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 but it might not work because I'm afraid it might not work for them. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to just think, like, it's fake or something.
Maybe you should just educate yourself a little bit on, like, the lingo. Because you obviously know what you did. You know that it worked. But maybe if you just, like, looked up a little bit of, like, the science behind why it worked, it would make you more confident in what you're saying, you know?
True.
Because you obviously know what you did. And if, like, say you woke up tomorrow and you were back at the, like, chunky, you would know what to do to get back to where you wanted to be. And so, you know, you could do that for yourself. But sometimes it's like helping others or talking to others. It's just knowing the wording and knowing why, right? Because you know what to do, but you don't know why everything might work.
Yeah. Well, because I have to... A lot of the things that I do now, I learn it from other people, like other influencers on TikTok, especially TikTok. Yeah. TikTok has taught me so many recipes, so many exercises, so many like just tips to do.
It's kind of like it can be a mixture between like Pinterest and Instagram.
Honestly, it really does, because I get so many, like even like down to my clothes, like this is what you should wear for this because this is going to help you do this better and this. And I'm like, dang, like that really is smart. And so when these girls ask me, I send them the videos that I've watched that have helped me. Yeah. Because I have them all saved in my, like on my TikTok and my Instagram.
So why don't you just become like a compilation of all that in one place and just like that's you?
I know. I don't know. Because a lot of it's stolen from like my mom. Because a lot of the stuff that I know is because of mom.
A lot of the stuff I know is because of mom. You know, my whole channel started because of mom. I just scared, you know? Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard. And especially because not even like you put yourself out there and then you're afraid maybe nobody will watch, or you're afraid people will watch but they'll just judge.
Before I started losing weight, I did do vlogs and stuff, and I enjoyed doing vlogs so much, and I wish I could like get back into that mindset, but I stopped doing them when I went to camp that summer, and I couldn't get back into it because I didn't like how I looked. So I deleted all of them because I just felt so ugly.
Yeah.
Because I would watch them and I was like, oh shit, like I'm ugly.
Yeah.
And now I feel confident enough to do it. It's just I don't feel like I'm that same person sometimes.
I get that. Because after
I'm like, I'm not as funny. I'm not the fat funny girl anymore. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I'm like, it doesn't work.
You're like every comedian's career. Like they were the fat comedic relief and then they got fit and nobody watches them anymore.
That's how I feel.
You're like Jonah Hill.
Literally, that's how I feel.
Josh Peck.
And what's her name? The one that plays in Pitch Perfect.
Oh, yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the
I don't know her
blonde
name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. That's literally me. Because I feel like I was so much funnier when I was fat, and now I'm like, I'm not as funny.
But maybe that's not, like, you don't have to make funny content, or you don't even have to, like, try to be funny, you know? I feel like a lot of it is in the editing, too. And a lot of it is just in the way that you present yourself. I don't know. You could always just try different things. I never thought I'd be, like, famous for reacting to Juice WRLD. Or I thought I'd be, like, Pastor Jordan on YouTube. You know, I always wanted to do YouTube, but this is never what I wanted to do. And it's not that I'm not happy, but it's just so different from what I thought would, like, people would connect with. But I'm happy doing it, you know? You may do, like, who knows what could happen, but you always, you know, you should just try. Because eventually you'll, like, get to a point where maybe you'll regret it. And maybe not, you know?
I'm really thinking about doing the hauls right now, because I'm really enjoying, like, buying stuff off of Shein and stuff. And so many people do it, but I think that, you know, if so many people do it and a lot of people get famous off of it, and then they just, like, especially on TikTok, that's where I really want to start doing stuff, is TikTok, just because I love it. I enjoy it so much. And even those stupid TikToks that I make now, I just enjoy them so much. So I might as well do something I enjoy and then start everything else.
I genuinely think you should start with YouTube videos and then take those YouTube videos and turn them into TikToks. And, like, you take a 30-minute Shein haul and then you make, like, 10 TikToks from that. But I think hauls are really, really good because you could make a lot of money from them. And, like, you can grow a big following from them. Because it's kind of like reactions, right? People don't click on my videos for me. They click on them for the artist. So if you did Shein, people wouldn't click on them for you. They're clicking on them for the clothes. So you buy the most popular clothes, or you could do, like, worst rated clothes on Shein or anything else, and then try them on. And people will watch for that, but you include your personality, you include plugs to other things, and then people will subscribe and watch you for other stuff. So if you said in a video, hey, if you like this kind of content, or you like me as a person, I also do vlogs, or I also do try-ons from this website, and I think you also have to brand yourself differently, right? Everybody does Shein hauls, but I would love to see I try on 10 of the worst rated outfits on Shein or Amazon or Wish.com, you know?
True.
And then you mix that in with the other ones that you like. And the other thing that you do is when you buy all that clothes, you include links in your description, but they're affiliate links. And so then somebody looks at you and says, oh my gosh, I really love that shirt. And then they click on your link and they buy it. You make a percentage of that. True. And so that's what a lot of them do. And they make a lot of money from it. But it's
a lot of, like, new shops are popping up right now. Like, stuff like Shein.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking of, like, kind of hopping on and just going for it and just buying it. Because that's what I did with Shein.
Yeah.
Like, when it first started. And I did it, like, even before it was really famous. I had it on my phone. And I remember talking to Valeria about it and like, oh, I'm just gonna get it. And her and Molly were all scared to buy it.
And now everybody buys it.
Now everybody buys
at your work and everybody that you speak to buys it.
Yeah, because I speak it up so much.
Okay, so imagine that you had started posting videos when you had first tried it. And not only did you like sell it to all the people around you, but you did that on like a social platform. But then your description has the links to all those clothes that you bought. Yeah. And you make a percentage of that. That's what I'm talking about. That's how people get famous. That's how those TikTok girls get a bunch of money. And then you take a clip from each outfit that you tried on and you make a TikTok of it. And then, not only are people following your TikTok, but then they're also following, then they're plugging into your YouTube. Like, that's how you build a personal brand. But you have to be willing to try. And I think you could do it, I think a lot of people could do stuff like that. I just think that they get so, worried that they never start.
It's putting in the work and actually, getting over that fear of doing it.
It's not even just that. Your first few videos will suck. You just gotta accept it. My first few videos on YouTube are literally terrible. But I continued making them and I continued learning what people like, and now I have a system, and now I have a following, and I have people who understand who I am and what I'm going to offer them in a video, and they're subscribed for that. But it doesn't happen, overnight. At first it was just people who were friends and people who wanted to support me because they knew me personally. But now it's people that I'll never meet and they liked the videos. But sometimes you just have to try, and then you figure out what doesn't work and you figure out what works, and each video gets better. You should do it. A Shein haul could be cool.
True. I literally just got a Shein package.
It would be dumb not to film it.
True.
What happened to the last one that you filmed?
I hated it.
Why?
Because I didn't like how I looked in a certain pair of shorts, and I just saw the video and I was like,
Okay, you could literally edit the pair of shorts out. But also, I think you should give a chance for somebody to edit it and make it something that's beyond just you. Because you can make the video, and it'll always be cringy. That's the thing with videos. If you take any YouTube video on the internet and you take all the editing out of it, it's 100% cringe. But once you get somebody who edits it and adds music or adds sound effects or cuts the video up where it's only the entertaining parts, every video is better.
That's true.
I think you should give it a chance as far as that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Dylan. Let's talk about your fiance. Right? Okay. So he is super, super fit. He's super skinny. He looks super good. He does have the abs. I want to know, because I know that I feel it and I can talk about it, but you were on your fit journey and you were getting there before you met him, and then now that you've been with him, do you feel like there's pressure there to stay fit and to stay?
Oh yeah. Well, literally in the first 6 months, so I met him in February, March, April, May, June, July, August. By August, he met me, I was at a size 12. By August, I was a size 8.
Wow.
So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I met him and I felt, and then right when I met him, also, I can't say all of it was him, but I met him and then we went into quarantine right away. And so I was just really in my head at that time.
Yeah.
Because I was I don't know what's going on in the world, and I don't know what he's doing, and I'm here at home all the time, and what if he's out doing things, you know what I mean? And so just my main drive was I would de-stress by just working out. I would work out twice a day. I would go for a run in the morning, and then I had a whole schedule. I would wake up, I would eat breakfast, eat a nice clean breakfast that I would see off of TikTok, literally. Because TikTok, that's when TikTok really took off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember.
And so then I would, I would do stuff around the house, and I would make myself really active. And then I would go tan, and then I would come back in for about an hour. Then I would go back outside and work out for 2 hours, literally. And that was my thing for every single day because I wasn't working at the time. Because my mom didn't want us to work, and I was literally doing that for almost 2 to 3 months every single day.
And so you
every single
felt
day.
pressured to like keep up with him physically.
So honestly, by like June, I was already like I dropped to like a size 10. And then that summer, like we were able to hang out more. But when I was like with him, I still felt so insecure. I was like, oh my gosh. And we would like go hang out with his friends. And obviously there's like girls there because of other like people, because he's in the army, you know what I mean? And I would just feel so insecure. I'd be like, dang, like that girl looks better than me. This girl looks better than me. We'd go out to stores and be like, oh, she looks better than me. And like, oh my god.
Don't look. You're like blocking his eyes. Don't look anywhere but me.
Literally. And I would literally watch him and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
But because he liked me for me. He could care less what I look like.
Right.
And he used to always tell me that, like, you don't need to do all that. But I was already doing it.
Doesn't mean we're going to believe it, right?
Yeah.
It could have, like, obviously you fell in love with Dylan and there would be nobody else but Dylan. But at the same time, like, let's say metaphorically, you took Dylan out of the situation and put in a different boy, you'd be doing the same thing. Because it has nothing to do with the boy, it has everything to do with you.
With me.
You know, with your insides, with how you're feeling as far as confidence and insecurity and self-worth.
And so when I met him and when I started hanging out with him, I just couldn't get it out of my head that he could actually want to be with me.
Yeah.
Because I saw myself so low.
Yeah.
And he saw me so beautiful, so high. He put me up on this pedestal and I just couldn't see myself like that.
How many fights did that cause?
Oh my gosh. For the first like 2 months we would just fight because I was
And you were starting them. Right. Yeah,
and
me and Valeria felt like that a lot.
And I was so insecure that I couldn't even like comprehend that like he would want to be with me.
Is this like when you would come to me every other day and be like, I'm gonna break up with him. I'm gonna break up with him.
Yes, literally. And I would tell people that all the time. And then finally it came to a point where I was like, all right, I need to suck it up and be with him and understand that if he hurts me, he hurts me.
Yeah.
But if he's not going to leave me at this point because of my looks.
Yeah.
It's gonna be because he leaves me because I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Because I'm a little crazy.
I try to tell people that a lot. I try to tell them, you know, like, you can't be the stray dog that somebody keeps rolling up to like feed a little bit and see if like they can get you to trust them more. Like, because at the end of the day, that makes you the wrong person, right?
Exactly.
Because he hasn't given you a reason not to trust him yet. So if you don't trust, that makes you wrong. And you don't have to trust all of it at once, but you trust a little bit. And the reason I say that is because so many people think that you have to like they just almost like cling on to this, I'm a damaged person, I can't trust, so I don't know if I can believe that you're gonna stay. But really it's what you said. I'm gonna believe that you're gonna stay, and if you don't, that's not my fault. That's you. That says something about you, not me. But so many times people leave our lives and then we decide, oh man, I must not be as good as I thought, or I must be trash like I always thought. I know I'm not worth anything. But,
well, because in past relationships, that's how I would feel.
Yeah.
Like we would break up and I would break up with them because I was so insecure already. And I'd already think.
Like, I'm going to leave you before you leave me because I'm already afraid that you're going to go.
And so with Dylan, I had to come to a point because I wanted to be with him so much because I just had already developed these strong feelings. And so by the end of last summer, I had to kind of suck it up and be like, all right, he really loves me. I've like put him through like so much like mentally because I was so insecure. I know and I know that sounds so awful, but I know he's there for the long haul because of so much I've put him through because I was so insecure. And it had a lot to do with how I looked. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same. Like, I did that to Valeria a lot. I pushed her away and I told her I didn't want to be with her, and I told her like I wasn't really like wanting to be in a relationship, and I would like fight her all the time and like accuse her of all these different things, and it was really just because I wasn't like believing that it was real. And she would literally like get so mad and get so frustrated and like cry and like, why don't you trust me, or why do you think that I would do that? And it was like, it has nothing to do with you. It's just like, that's how I am. That's what I really think. Like, that's what I truly, truly believe. And like, for you to try to prove otherwise is an uphill battle.
Yeah, because I'm like, he's just doing that. He's just, he's just saying that. He's just saying that. And I still have to tell myself, like, I literally get mad at him when he tells me I'm beautiful. I'm like, you don't think that. You don't really think that. And I'm legit mad. Mm-hmm. I'm like, you don't think that.
I get that.
But that's what he thinks. And I have to force myself to believe that sometimes.
That's where I feel like you've done such a good job, because you got fit, you're healthy and you look great, but you've also kind of done a lot on your mental side and your emotional side, right? Because I feel like you could be fit and like it happened to me. I looked great. Everybody looked at me. Everybody wanted to be with me, and I'm not being like goody two shoes, but that's really how I walked around on this planet. Because I thought I was great and everybody else like treated me that way. But at the same time, when I looked in the mirror, I still thought that I was ugly and I still thought that I didn't look good. And you've kind of been really working on that to where you are confident and you do believe that you look good and you do believe that this is like not just to look good, but it's a healthy lifestyle.
Well, yeah, because now, especially now, it is my lifestyle.
Yeah.
There's the only way that it's going to change if it's something like probably, I don't know.
Maybe like
right
a health issue or...
Yeah. I have no desire to change how I live my life right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was to do, like before I met Dylan and before I started this weight loss journey, I was a lot more worldly than I feel like I was now. And I was going to church and stuff, but it was more of a religion than a relationship.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And so, I did whatever I wanted, and I would talk to all the boys I wanted to, because I had to make myself, I felt so bad about myself that boys were what made me feel pretty.
Yeah, like DMs are such an ego booster.
So if I had so many DMs, I'd feel like, oh shit, I'm the shit. Like, I'm pretty as hell. And that's when I was heavier. Mm-hmm. And now when I get a DM, I just delete it because I'm like, oh my gosh, shut up.
Yeah.
Because now it's so common to hear, because I am skinnier and stuff, and I do look a lot different from what I used to look like. I mean, if someone saw me 2 years ago from what I look now, we look like totally different people.
Yeah.
We do. People tell me that all the time. I see them from high school and I'm like, hi.
Well, it's even like what you were saying, because your face is healthier. Like acne isn't really as big of an issue anymore. Like you always look so like glowing, I feel like that's different too.
Well, I'm happy now.
Yeah.
I'm happy. And it really did take me having to like force myself to think that I'm not that person anymore, because I was so depressed in so many ways. And now I'm so just like with everything, my relationship with myself, with God too, even though we're not as close as we used to be, in the aspect of going to church every day, doing this, but our relationship has grown so much because it's actually like firm. Same thing with relationships I've never had a real relationship until Dylan.
Yeah.
Because I was confident enough to now, like when I got to that point where I was like, he's with me for me, I got to that point where I was like, wow, I can actually be in a relationship without thinking I have to get all this attention from other men. You know what I mean?
So let's talk DMs. Have you gotten the DM from like a guy where he's like, I offered to pay you $500 a week to be your sugar daddy?
Yes, but I got those before.
Yeah. Well, I got one. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I think they missed the beard or something.
I know. I get those, and I get people from high school that I'm like, I hated you because you were so mean to me.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You looked at me like trash, and now you look at me like a piece. That's how I feel now when men stare at me or when men like hit on me. I'm like, ugh, you just don't even look at me the way that Dylan looks at me.
Yeah, because I want to talk about that. Like, I feel, because I could go to the gym, nobody would stare at me. Is it really like as big of an issue as like people make it seem? Where like,
no, it's not like everybody's like you know what I mean? But when I see someone, I know from high school, especially boys, more like males that I see, or someone that I know. And you know what? I'm not going to say, because when I go with Dylan and my mom, because I go with my mom too, they tell me that people look at me, but I'm kind of oblivious because I'm like, now I'm so used to it that I'm like, who cares? Who cares? If that makes sense.
It's not often that you feel like creeped out or like...
No, because I've really, and I'm not saying that to just be like cocky or anything. I really go to the store and people like are very overly, well, men more are overly polite to me. Like I had this guy at the gym the other day. He like went out of his way to get me my rag for like to clean my machine, and he was like, I'm just trying to help you out, and like winked at, like kind of like did that sly wink, and I was like, all right, like thanks. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm engaged, but no, like it's much more like before. If I was fat, I'd be like, oh damn, like he's hitting on me. Like I'd probably flirt back, you know what I mean? But now, and it also has a lot to do that I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
But even if I wasn't, I probably would still look at it like, come on, dude, like I'm just at the gym trying to work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now it's so much more, because it's so much more common than it used to be.
Right. Makes sense.
And it's so much more like they really just want me for my body.
Yeah, definitely.
And when I got into this relationship, it was so healthy. Like that's why it was so toxic. I was so like kind of toxic to Dylan because I couldn't believe that he was being so kind to me and actually genuine with everything.
It's almost like you try to push all the different buttons to see if anything will explode because you don't really trust it.
Yeah. And now that I'm like, I have him, I'm like, I couldn't. I just like, no matter if they're better looking or how much money they have, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those things at that point do not matter.
Yeah.
And even my weight loss and everything, that's what it shows me. None of this matters. Our body doesn't matter. It's really what's inside.
Yeah.
Is
definitely
what's going to matter at the end of the day.
Right.
But it takes a real, like, more of, like, you got to be in that, like, more grown-up mindset.
Yeah. You have to be, like, ready for something like that.
Uh-huh. Because I hang out with my friends from school, and they're like, wow, like, you look so good, and, like, you could be having a hot girl summer right now, and you're getting married at 19, and I'm like, yeah, I am, and I wouldn't change it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. Well, Tori, it's been wonderful talking to you. I'm so proud of you for your healthy journey and everything you're doing. Hold on.
Okay. It's because you're frozen.
I know. Okay. I'm so proud of you and everything you're doing on your healthy journey. I think that you could definitely be a Shein star if you wanted to. But I think it's cool. And I think a lot of people want to get fit, but sometimes it's not for the right reasons. And other times they just need to be told, like, hey, you know, you could go get fit, but your value's not going to change inside unless you actually, like, put in the work the same way you would on your body into your head.
Yep.
And into, like, your
it's gotta
emotional
be both.
life. You know, you definitely have to, like... You know, when you work out, your body completely changes. You have to do the same thing with your mind if you're going to be confident in yourself and everything else. But I'm sure people are going to love this episode, and I love talking to you. And maybe you can come back on the podcast another time and we can talk about something else. But it's been an hour, so I don't want to make people wait any longer.
True.
So tell everybody your handles, where they can find you. Take like 30 seconds. Let everybody know where they can follow you.
You can follow me on Instagram at IamTTORII. So I am Tori, but double T double I.
All right.
That's all.
No TikTok?
Oh, my TikTok. I don't know my TikTok though.
Okay.
It's on my...
It'll be in the description.
Well, it's on my Instagram too. Literally everything is on my Instagram. Like everything.
Sounds good. Well, that's it, guys. If you like this video, make sure that you subscribe, you leave a like, you leave a comment. Let me know who else you want me to interview. Maybe somebody more important or more entertaining than my sister. Just kidding.
Oh my God.
Make sure that you go support the Patreon and everything else, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thanks for listening to Talk Deep. If you would like to reach out to Pastor Jordan, or you would like to be featured on the podcast, find him on Instagram at JordanBradley24. Also, look for him on YouTube. Please remember to subscribe, like, review this podcast, and share it with a friend. If you want to support the show, find Pastor Jordan on Patreon. Thanks again for listening.